So stock control now, and we need to have some knowledge of stock and the benefits and problems of holding stock, and we've got to be able to construct stock control diagrams. But we've also got to know about this technique called just-in-time stock control, which is basically not having stock, and the benefits and problems of using that type of system. So first of all, overview, what is stock exactly? So it could be a few different things. It could be goods that are produced or are in the process of being produced, but they've not been sold yet. So it could be the raw materials and components that you're just storing, ready to be produced. It could be kind of part-made products, or it could be the finished products themselves that you're holding in stock. So this was a question a few years ago about a buggy company, Lightweight Buggies Limited, and there was a 5-mark question: analyse the possible consequences that may have resulted from the stock out situation at the beginning of September. So James is concerned about the stock control systems that exist within the organisation. Some departments seem to be holding excessive amounts of stock, whilst others are frequently running out. The stock out situation facing the final assembly section is typical of the problems being encountered, as illustrated in the stock control diagram. So you will, we will see that stock control diagram. But what are the problems of not having enough stock? Well, what happens if you have a stock out? So you can't meet customer demand, and this would be a problem because maybe your customers go elsewhere, go to competitors, because they don't want to wait for the product. They need products to be able to sell themselves if they're the business, or if they're selling directly to the consumer. If the consumer needs a buggy, it's likely that they need it really soon because they're either pregnant or they've got a child, they've got the baby, and they'll just go to a competitor. And when you go to a competitor, you've lost that sale. It's an opportunity cost, but that person may keep on continuing buying from the competitor. Again, it stops production. So workers are being paid. Here we go. So workers being paid but not producing anything. So you've got your opportunity cost. You've got this sense of wasted money there. And also, if they get too bored, if this goes on for a long run, they're probably just going to get another job because it's quite boring just waiting around. Orders delivered late, so poor customer service. Again, it may put off customers from ordering again. So we're thinking of maybe a department store that's buying a big bulk of these buggies, and they think, what, let's not go back to this company, let's get a better supplier. And also, if you have stock out of, I think this was at the final assembly part of in the case study, but say if you have a stock out at an early stage, it has a knock-on effect on all the other stages of production. Excuse me. So it might not just be that process that's delayed, it might be other processes that are also delayed. Okay, but you don't want to hold too much stock, as in the excessive stock that this business was, some departments holding excessive stock. So why is holding stock a bad thing? Because stocking out or being in a stock out situation seems terrible. Why don't we just hold loads of stock? Well, you need more warehouse space for that, so that's a cost. So opportunity cost there. The money that's been invested into the stock, just having it there, could have been spent on other things, maybe expanding. You need security to protect the stock, and there's a danger that the stock may go out of date, become obsolete, perish if it's a perishable product as well. So we can see that having too little is a problem, having too much is a problem. So we need to get these right levels. So businesses take this quite seriously and have these stock control diagrams. But firstly, we need to know a few key terms. So buffer stock is the minimum amount of stock that you want to hold. And then there might be a maximum stock level as well, which would be the maximum that the business wants to hold. A reorder level is the level of stock that you get to, and if your stock falls below this level, this is when they reorder. And then lead time is just the time it takes from the business ordering it to the stock arriving. So this is what the diagram looks like. So here's where the maximum stock level, here's the minimum stock level, so there's buffer stock there. And we can see over time you're using this stock, so we're seeing stock level go down. Here's the reorder level, and then we see that the stock is being delivered at this point. So then it goes down, reorder it, and then it gets delivered. So the difference between there and there is the lead time. Okay, so if we look at it, this is the type 2 buggies wheels. So it says, look at the stock control diagram and identify the following. What's the lead time? Well, this is the reorder level, 2000, and then it seems like it takes from March, the beginning of March, to the beginning of April for the stock to arrive, because this vertical line, when it shoots back up, that's when it's arrived. So the lead time seems to be a month. What's the minimum stock level? Well, here it is. This must be the stock out situation here, but here it is. The minimum is 1,000 units of whatever it is, or wheels these are. Maximum stock level, 3,000 up here, and the reorder quantity is reorder quantity. Yeah, the reorder quantity is 2,000 there, not because the reorder level is at 2,000, but this is the amount that they have reordered, not the point at which they reorder. So the difference between that and that is 2,000, so reorder quantity is 2,000. Okay then, so we've done all of these things, but we have an approach called just-in-time, which is where you only produce products when they've been ordered. Okay, so it's like a pull system. You wait for the order and then you produce the product, not a push system where you produce the product and store the finished product ready to be sold. So your components and your raw materials are only brought in when you need to produce. So you don't have stocks either, so you'd have no stock at all. So what are the benefits of this? Well, stocks mean that your cash may be tied up in stock, so there's no cash tied up in stock, so it can improve your cash flow. You're free to use it for other things as well. There's less waste and damaged stock because you don't have any stock. It's not going to perish or get damaged by anything, so this maybe reduces your costs, because you'd probably say, you know, maybe about 10% of it gets wasted each year, that kind of thing. So if you don't have stocks, you're not going to have that 10% wastage. More factory space available, so maybe you need less factory space, so that could reduce your costs. Or you could say use it for another purpose, maybe expand into producing other products. Less security costs for holding stock, so we could have that reduces overall costs. I'll just make these two similar. And links with and control of suppliers is improved. Well, this one's less self-explanatory, but for just-in-time to work, you need really close and good working relations with suppliers. So you might get better, get closer, there's less risk in the relationship breaking down, possibly, for those things. So it all sounds really great, doesn't it? You know, just get products in when you need them, less costs, but actually there are some negatives. So you are very reliant on your suppliers, okay? I think Jaguar Land Rover, if you want to be a supplier of those, you have to be able to deliver within 4 hours. So their lead time is 4 hours between ordering the product and it arriving. So you have to be really, really reliable as a supplier. And if your supplier isn't very close by, they're not going to meet that. So another disadvantage of it, I'm not going to fill in that box because I think that's kind of self-explanatory, but another disadvantage is the increased ordering and administration costs. So this might actually increase the costs of production. because rather than ordering each month, you might be ordering each day or multiple times during the day if you Jaguar or Land Rover. The advantages of bulk buying may be lost, so you lose those economies of scale, purchasing economies of scale, some nice links to Unit 1. And it may be very difficult to cope with sudden increases in demand or a sudden increase in demand. So you may lose customers if they go elsewhere because they're not willing to wait. It depends on the product that you're producing. So it's not for everyone. You need an excellent relationship, and they need to be able to deliver when, with your suppliers that is, they need to be able to deliver when needed. So you need them to be close by. It's not going to work if they're in Australia. You need them to be you need your employees to be reliable and flexible, so maybe even flexible with when they're working even. So, you know, really they've got to be quite happy with you as an employer and quite loyal to the company to be able to deal with that level of flexibility. They may even need to change kind of jobs depending on, not jobs, you know, organisation, but jobs in terms of the production process, or what part of the production process they're working on, depending on the demand of that particular time. And that goes for machinery as well. Need to be quite flexible. And you need the employees to be multi-skilled to be able to deal with that as well. So this is a past paper question. So going back to that lightweight buggies, evaluate the proposal to have a just-in-time system of lightweight buggies. So 8 marks, so you want to maybe at least 2 points for, 2 points against, really explaining them and applying them to the case study.